What's up guys, my name is Afan and today I'll be showing you a project that I've been working on for the past 3 months. This is a Model 2 Genesis that I've had ever since I was a child. Basically the idea is I wanted a Model 1 on a Model 2 Sega Genesis, but the problem is it didn't fit. So I decided to make one on my own. So basically this is a Model 2 Sega CD. I mean a Model 1 Sega CD on a Model 2 Sega Genesis that I've specially modified. So basically this has a mini X5 PC that I installed inside of it, as well as a USB hub, and what this is an optical DVD drive. So basically it's a PC, but I've modified it even more than that. So basically it can play Genesis games as well as Sega CD games and PC games and emulators, etc. So what I installed here is the Mayflash Sega Genesis to USB converter in place of the original motherboard. So I can just hook up my original Sega Genesis controller and play Genesis games on a PC. The reason why I'm doing this is I love Sega Fusion. I think Sega Fusion is a flawless emulator. Like, it plays Genesis games flawlessly, if not better than the original hardware. So that's the main reason I installed the Mayflash converter. Like I said, I can use the original Genesis controller to play any game I want. Please don't mind me the choppy video. I've never recorded a video before, so if you can bear with me. Looking around the system, as you can see, I've installed a USB hub, and I've installed a cooling fan. Basically, when I installed the PC inside this box, I had to remove the heatsink. So the cooling fan just helps keep the heat out. Now, inside here is pretty cramped. Literally, there's not even like 1 inch of wasted space in here. It's really cramped. I have basically the PC in there, the DVD drive. I have 2 power adapters that are installed in there, a USB hub. There's a different USB hub than this one, so I can connect everything to it. Here we have the power port for the PC, but the whole system uses just one power cord. So as you may know, the Genesis Model 2 or any Genesis, if you connect a Sega CD or 32X to it, it uses 3 power adapters. So I ditched that completely, and it only uses 1 AC cord. As you can see here, this was when I was working on it, because initially I cut this so I can have like wires coming out and connect to the PC, but I figured that would be too ugly, so I just connected all the wires here. So all the wires that connect from the Genesis to the PC go through here, through the circuit door right here. As for the Genesis itself, because the main motherboard was removed, what I did here is, as you can see, I installed a male USB port right here that I can use with a specially modified Genesis cartridge that I installed a female USB port right here. So basically what I can do is, for example, I have a game of Streets of Rage, so all I do is just insert the label right here. This is a clear plastic that I installed on the cartridge, so I can just put any game that I want in the Genesis cartridge. And the cartridge itself has an SD to USB adapter that I installed inside the cartridge. So I just connect the SD card to the adapter. Just 1 second while I install it, and voila. So basically that's how it looks. I just insert the cartridge as it is, And then in place of the light, because the motherboard was removed again, I installed a red LED that turns on and off. I also installed a latching on and off switch in place of the original power button, so it makes that clicking sound. So whenever I click the power button, the red LED goes on, and the PC recognizes that the SD card is connected. And also I've modified my I configured my Sega emulator to automatically run a Genesis ROM when this is pressed, so I don't have to do anything. It's as simple as that. And one more thing, just a quick walk around. This is the HDMI port. This is the power button for the PC that I installed. So when I want to power the whole thing up, I just press this. But the power button on the Genesis is only used for the cartridge slot. So when I press this button, the USB cable turns on. So that's what that's for. As for the DVD drive, I designed it to look exactly, well, like mostly like a Model 1 Sega CD, and I installed a red LED here and a green LED here. So the green LED is on the whole time as long as the system is running, and then the red LED I connected to the DVD optical drive. So whenever the optical drive is loading, the red LED flashes. So that really gives it a cool touch. So let's fire it up and let me show you how it works. Alright, powering up the Sega CD. So I just press the power button that's in the back. And that's how it looks like when it first turns on. You got the green LED on. And here's the PC running. The PC runs Windows 10. And there's the DVD drive with the red blinking LED. And let me show you what it boots up to. This is the Sega CD boot up screen. I set it up for the boot up image. So whenever the PC turns on, this is what is displayed first. The date on the top is the date that I completed it. And this is the Genesis boot up screen that I set up as a desktop background. What I use to control the Genesis normally is this USB keyboard plus mouse that I bought from eBay for like 10 bucks. I use this mostly for watching movies, YouTube, internet, etc. And this is a program called Anti-Micro that I set up to automatically boot up whenever the Sega CD turns on. Basically what this does is it converts the Genesis controller to a keyboard. So any button on a controller, on a USB controller, you can map it to any button on the keyboard. This is really important to run games only if you want to use the controller, the original controller, instead of the PC or keyboard. So what I'm gonna do is just minimize this. Okay, now I'm gonna fire up the cartridge. So what I do is just I press the power button like I normally do on a Sega Genesis. So I just press the power button and that'll automatically boot up the SD, which is the game. And that's the sound of the SD card being inserted. See over there is Streets of Rage. So all I do now is just press the down button on the controller. It automatically selects the game. And I just press start. And now KK Fusion just automatically boots up and loads the game. Yeah, Streets of Rage is one of my favorite, like top 10 Genesis games.
Alright, let me close this. Alright, I closed that, and let me show you how the DVD drive works. So the open button is actually hidden. It's actually right behind the Sega logo. I decided to hit it so it can look better aesthetically. So the button is actually right here, so I can just push that. The DVD drive opens. I just put the CD, close it. And the DVD is actually a burnt copy of the movie Aliens Resurrection that I've been watching lately. It's a movie that I watched before, but I decided to revisit it just to see if it still holds up the test of time. So I just select the movie with the keyboard that I'm using. And I just control anything. The flickering is actually from the HDMI switch. It has nothing to do with the Genesis itself. So I can control the movie or anything with the keyboard. I can use the controller if I want, but I just go with the keyboard instead, since this is originally a PC. And last but not least, let me show you how I power it down. Okay, powering down the PC / Genesis, whatever you want to call it. I just power it down like a normal PC would. Just click shutdown. Now the PC is shutting down, but I designed it so that the original Genesis power button is the button that shuts everything down completely. So when I press the Genesis button, that's what shuts everything down. So I'm just gonna wait a moment until it shuts down, and I just press the power button, and that's what shuts it down completely. So tell me what you guys think. I'm really sorry for the choppy speech. This is the first time I record a video. So please tell me what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.